Welcome everybody to Board Sports Network, your leader in board sports entertainment. As you can see on the table, it is a mess as we are working to bring you all the very best action here in the 2020 Baseball America season. 3 weeks are in the books. It was an exciting week of baseball action as there wasn't a whole lot of movement in the top of the East standings, and in the West there was a switch between the first and second place teams, who both still had the same record, but one team did take first place. Stay tuned to see who that was.
It was a 2-game sweep for the Sacramento Spanners as they hosted the Cincinnati Grays. In Game 1, Sacramento won 7-4. In Game 2, they won 8-3. Sacramento moves to 6-6 on this season, while Cincinnati dropped to 5-5. It was a Western Division series win for the Phoenix Ashes as they traveled to the Portland Jacks. In Game 1, Phoenix took it 8-7. Game 2, Portland won 9-4. In Game 3, Phoenix took the series win with a dominating 14-1 win. The strong Las Vegas Gamblers stumbled as they traveled out to Boston to face the Patriots. In Game 1, Boston took it 2-1, and in Game 2, Boston swept the series with a score of 6-3. We stayed on the East Coast as the Denver Wild traveled to the Brooklyn Bombers. In Game 1, Brooklyn won 3-1, and in a wild Game 2 that actually ended up going 12 innings, Denver scores 10 in the top of the 12th to win it 10-0. That game can be seen at the link above. You don't want to miss that one. The New Mexico Aztecs traveled to Orlando and split a 2-game series with the Orlando Stars. New Mexico took Game 1 by a score of 7-5, and Orlando took Game 2 by a score of 10-7. The Nashville Countrymen hosted a 3-game Eastern Division series with the Columbus Silverhawks, with the Silverhawks winning it 2-1. In a rain-shortened 6-inning game, Nashville won Game 1 8-3. In Game 2, they more than made up for it, going 17 innings, with Columbus finally coming out ahead 6-5. And in Game 3, Columbus took the series with a final score of 4-3. Cincinnati Grays hosted the Portland Jacks for a 2-game set and ended up sweeping. Cincinnati won Game 1 6-1 and defeated Portland 7-3 in Game 2. It was the Boston Patriots traveling to Sacramento to take the Spanners, splitting a 2-game series. Sacramento won 5-4, with Beyond Kalana coming in and blowing the save and becoming 0-1. In Game 2, Boston won 3-2, with Beyond Kalana redeeming himself and picking up his 5th save of the season. It was a split in Phoenix as the Bombers took on the Ashes. In Game 1, Brooklyn won 8-2, and in Game 2, Phoenix came back and won 6-4. It looked like Las Vegas had the chance to become the first team with 10 wins in the Baseball America season as they traveled to Orlando to take on the Stars. Las Vegas took Game 1 14-5, and Orlando evened the series with a 6-4 win in Game 2. Denver also had a chance to become the first 10-win team as they hosted the Nashville Countrymen. Nashville ended up taking Game 1 3-1, and Denver evened the series and took Game 2 by a score of 6-3. In the final series of Week 3, which can be seen on Board Sports Network, showcased the Columbus Silverhawks at the New Mexico Aztecs. Columbus took Game 1 by a score of 2-1, and in Game 2, New Mexico came back and won the game 9-4.
So now that you've seen all the winners and losers from Week 3, let's see where they're at in the standings after 3 weeks of action.
In the East, Brooklyn and Cincinnati remain unchanged in first and second place. Brooklyn has a 9-6 record, no games behind. Cincinnati is 7-5, half game behind. Boston and Columbus are in third place at 7-7, a game and a half behind. Nashville is in fifth at 7-8, 2 games behind, and Orlando is in last at 6-8 and 2.5 games behind. And in the West, Denver and Las Vegas swapped places. They are both tied for first with a record of 9-5. Sacramento and Phoenix are tied for third with a record of 7-7, 2 games behind, and Portland and New Mexico are tied for fifth place with records of 5-9 and 4 games behind.
So now that you know where your favorite team is after 3 weeks, let's see who the leaders are in the Eastern and the Western divisions.
Starting in the East, leading the league in average is Alvaro Morgan from Brooklyn with 447. Mike White from Nashville posted a 441. Al Capuzzello from Orlando and Steve Van Gorder from Orlando both had 400. and Don Scoob from Orlando has a 386. Mike White's leading the league in hits from Nashville with 30. Steve Van Gorder from Orlando has 22. Alvaro Morgan from Brooklyn and Gary Bonnell from Nashville both have 21. And Lenny Foster from Orlando has 20 hits. Leading the league in doubles is Ramon Cruz from Nashville with 6. Denny Klug from Columbus with 6. Rosario Hill from Columbus with 5. And Mike White from Nashville with 5. Fausto Arialto from Orlando has 4 doubles on the season so far. Leading the East in triples is Victor Bonilla from Boston with 2, Barry Bonnell from Nashville with 2, Don Scoob, Don McGrain, and Cecil O'Malley all have 1. Lenny Foster continues to lead the East in home runs with 8, followed by fellow teammate Steve Van Gorder with 6. Coy Owens from Boston has 6 as well, and Brian Stone from Brooklyn has 4, along with Rosario Hill from Columbus with 4. For RBIs, Lenny Foster continues to stay hot. He has 23. Steve Van Gorder from Orlando has 14. Coy Owens from Boston 13. Mike White and Gary Bonnell from Nashville both have 12. And rounding out the East offensively with stolen bases, Danny Hargrove from Cincinnati has 9. Mike White from Nashville has 8. Junior Ayala from Cincinnati has 6, along with Jorge Gonzalez from Columbus and Gary Bonnell from Nashville, both with 6. Moving on to pitching in the East, in ERA, Jeff Delone from Cincinnati leads with a 1.20 ERA. Vance Hume from Boston has 1.89, Don Backman from Brooklyn 1.96, Melito Ortiz, also from Brooklyn, a 1.99, and Wally Ballard from Brooklyn has a 2.14. In strikeouts, Chico Loya from Brooklyn leads with 21. Charlie Guerrero is tied for first from Columbus with 21. Luis Orozco, Lupe Sanchez, and Harold Engel all have 19. And leading the league in saves is Felix Biancalana and Jimmy Tuesday from Boston and Brooklyn, both with 5. Tony O'Hara from Orlando has 4. Larry Lawless from Nashville with 4. And Lenny Lawler from Columbus has 3. Heading to the West now, leading the league in average is Hubie Wagner from Portland with 467. Danny Coder from Las Vegas 442. Edgar Santiago from New Mexico, 404, Jody Campbell from Phoenix, 370, and also Casey Carter from Portland with 370. Leading the league in hits is Hubie Wagner with 28, Danny Cota with 23, Edgar Santiago with 21, Tom Steiner from Phoenix with 20, and Kurt Swarns from Denver with 20. Your doubles leader is Danny Cota from Las Vegas with 9, Kurt Swarns with 6, Edgar Santiago with 6, Mike St. Clair from Phoenix with 6, and Mariano Hernandez from Sacramento with 6. In triples, Danny Cota has 2, LaMelo King from New Mexico has 2, Kurt Swarns has 1, Phil Garber has 1, and Roberto Soto from Phoenix all have 1. Graham Winkle from Las Vegas is leading the league in home runs with 5. Barry Burrell from Las Vegas also has 5, and Doug Smoltz from New Mexico has 5 as well. Manny Armas from Las Vegas has 4, and Hubie Wagner from Portland has 4 as well. And RBIs, Graham Winkle and Edgar Santiago both have 15. Danny Cota has 13, Doug Smoltz with 13, and Toby Gorin from Las Vegas with 11. Phil Garber leads the West with stolen bases with 11. Norberto Soto from Phoenix has 10. Otis Terrell from New Mexico has 9. Josh Lampron from Denver has 6. And Graham Winkle from Las Vegas has 5. Your pitching leaders in the West, in ERA, Jermichael Jones stayed hot for Denver with a .4 ERA. Rich Kruger from Denver has a 1.13. Dave Barnes and Turner Marshall, both from Sacramento, have a 2.11 and a 2.14 respectively. And Matias Santos from Denver has 2.25 ERA. In strikeouts, Angel Zaramello from Las Vegas has 21. TJ Maddox from Portland with 20. Jones from Las Vegas with 18, Ernesto Gallegos from Denver has 18, and Dave Barnes from Sacramento has 17 strikeouts. And leading the league in saves is Rex Dooley from Phoenix with 5, Keith Guiderman from Denver with 3, Steve Radchinsky from New Mexico with 2, Deshaun Johnson from Las Vegas with 2, and Rico Jones from Portland with 1.
We have a lot of great players leading in statistical categories after 3 weeks. Let's see what you can expect in Week 4 action.
In Week 4, Cincinnati will open up Eastern Division play as they travel to Boston to take on the Patriots. Portland will be at Brooklyn, Orlando hosts Sacramento, Nashville will host Phoenix, and Las Vegas will travel to Columbus for a 2-game set. Denver will be at New Mexico, Brooklyn will be at Cincinnati for 3 games, Orlando will be at Boston, Portland will host Nashville, Columbus will host Sacramento, New Mexico will play at Phoenix, and a series that we here at Board Sports Network is really looking forward to will be Denver at Las Vegas.
That'll be it for us here at Board Sports Network. Now that you know who's playing in Week 4, be sure to keep an eye out for videos posted to see if your teams are featured. As always, leave a comment and let me know who you'd like to see. If there's a particular pitcher you'd like to see, or a particular player, or a team, or a certain matchup, let me know in the comments and we'll try to bring that action to you. Until next time though, please leave a like if you like the video. If you like the action in Baseball America so far, leave me a comment and let me know. Until next time, have a great night and God bless.